Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and today we're going to be asking a big question about who we should be focusing on this summer because this time of year there are endless transfer rumours, but a lot of them at the moment seem to be quite centred around us having an interest in up and coming talent. So, a report came out recently as well that spoke about how we were looking at getting some bargains from the French and Belgian leagues as a way to be able to get maximum value for money. And this got me thinking, is youth the answer to our problems this summer? Now, the first point to note is that we know Potter is not afraid to use youngsters. We've got Ollie Skulls getting some game time. We've got Ortford getting a slight look in as well. Previously, we've been dying for some of our up-and-coming youngsters that we've been wanting to see get that more game time to just get a little bit of a chance or a look in. But we've not found ourselves in positions where the head coach is comfortable enough to say that it's a wise move. So that is what we're going to be discussing today. Is youth the answer? Let's go. So, for us to answer the question as to whether youth is the answer, we've got to look at what youth there is available and our willingness to actually use it. So, as we said, Potter doesn't seem terrified of using younger players that haven't yet had a chance to prove themselves in the Premier League. So that is step one of us using youth where we can to get a few bargains and to actually have a little bit of squad depth, hopefully based on our budget, which we're also going to talk about in more detail. Now, looking at some of the younger players coming through the ranks, they could definitely play a massive part in our squad. And this would mean, obviously, we wouldn't have to look elsewhere. So it's a win-win because we'd be using our own academy as a feeder to the first team and saving money elsewhere, which is all we've all ever wanted, really. Now, you'd only have to take a little peek at our retained list to, well, as well as our performances from last season, to realise that we need to invest a hell of a lot in the summer. Players all over the pitch, front to back, left to right, whatever you want to call it, we need a lot of players. In an ideal world, you'd probably be looking at around 10 players, I want to say, but we essentially need to replace the spine of our team, which is no easy feat, as well as finding replacements for squad players and those that played a decent amount in our starting 11 last season. So we've got a big old job ahead of us. But the question is, how can we get the calibre of players and the number of players that we need without falling on the wrong side of the PSR regulations? The answer is not going to be easy. We're going to really need to get creative. For anyone that's interested, The Athletic actually reported that we can afford to lose between 50 million and 100 million pounds before getting into trouble with PSR, which puts us pretty much bang average in terms of where the Premier League teams are for how much available money they have to spend. Important to remember that it does also have knock-ons, obviously, in the future. It's not just this window that we can spend all of our budget and then not ever worry about the future or wages or anything like that ever again. But not many clubs in the Premier League that are around where we are in the middle of what we have kind of available to spend need this humongous rebuild that we're talking about so much at the moment. We need to get some proven players and others that have got the right attributes to grow into what we need, because that's probably how we're going to get players at a price that we can afford in mass, meaning youth is going to be essential based on that for us to actually invest in this window. Now, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts as well. So let me know down below in the comments section what you think we should do. Personally, I think we need a mixture of youth and experience because we've lost a lot of experience in Sufal, Cresswell, Fabianski, Ings. We still need to have that because players that have been through it all really do bring something to a side, especially if you're struggling, if you fall on hard times, if you're rebuilding and you're in that process of really trying to cling on or build some kind of identity. These players that have been at clubs for a long time, that have been at so many different clubs, they do bring something. While it might not be legs, they do bring something. But then we also need that youth because we need that energy, that pace, that midfield that we've been desperately wanted. And obviously with the youth, you have somebody that has a potential to have a long future at the club. And this is also the best way for us to bring players in, increase their value by working with them to get them better, and help us to be in a position where we've got a talented squad and we've also got money to invest in upcoming transfer windows. We've got decisions to make about players that are worth a lot of money, whether we want to hold on to them, whether we want to get rid of them, because that's where we want to be as a club. But For that to happen, it does, of course, rely on us being able to bring in the right players to find our system so that we can flatter them, they can flatter us, and their value will increase. And they just got to fit in the system, something that we've not historically done very well, and that we've also struggled to do because adapting between different head coaches, when you've got rid of someone, they need such different kinds of players that fit different types of systems. But we're now in a position where we're pretty sure Potter's going to be given some time. So we might as well go all in. Let's just invest where we can in things that Potter thinks will work and see what happens, because we spoke about this being a long-term project when he came. Obviously, we were hoping to do a lot better than we were by the end of the season, but we've also been saying we need to get rid of 80% of our team, and we've been saying that everything's broken and no one wants to run. So based on that, Potter had a very difficult job ahead of him, and this rebuild is going to be pivotal now in terms of giving Potter the tools that he has to show what he can do, and us working out where we stand. What are the problems? What are the good bits? And where can we head? Because we don't want to see anything like that second half of last season, or the first half, to be honest. And I have a feeling that what we do this summer, in terms of the players that we bring in, might not look that flattering, given the budget that we've got to play with. So let's say 50 mil to 100 mil loss. The number of players that we need to upgrade will cost a lot more than that. Excuse me if you can hear the dishwasher in the background there. So I just think it's going to be really difficult to get the number of players that we want on the budget that we have, unless we're going to be spending about 5 or 6 million on people, which obviously means you're not going to get those proven players. So I reckon, as well as getting a few players that we're excited about after watching a few transfer videos on YouTube, that we're going to be looking at the leagues that we mentioned that we're going to be scouting in, but also we'll probably have a couple of players coming towards the end of their career, I have a feeling, which is obviously going to scare us all and make us all very sad, but they'll be designed to bring in a bit of experience at a lower price than they would have been 5 years ago, because it's almost one of those Rome wasn't built in a day. And I'm almost playing devil's advocate because I know that I'll be upset if we start bringing in players that are 29, 30. It's quite sad when you get older than the ages you're talking about being too old. But we need to bring in players that are going to be able to help us short term so that we can fix things, grow, and then do gradual transitions to bring in new players each year. It's so difficult with a full rebuild. I really don't know where I'd start, but I think personally that is what I would do. So we'll have to see what happens, but I want to know your thoughts. So let me know what you think. This summer's definitely a huge opportunity. Carl Corley is certainly going to have his work cut out to make the right calls. In a dream world, I want to bring in players that are all proven at a high level of football, who are about 20 years of age. They're pacey, physical. They've got years of improvement ahead of them, and they're also really cheap. Is that realistic? It probably isn't. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Do you think youth is the answer? Do you think youth is part of the answer? And how would you balance this youth with proven experience, big names, and the number of players that we need to bring in? Big question. Going to leave that with you to solve it. When you know, let West Ham know, and then we'll just go and win the league next season. So till next time, thank you so much as always for watching. Really appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, because it goes a massive way to supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Have a brilliant Wednesday. Happy hump day. And until next time, let's get going. Count you irons. Irons.